What's going on, everyone? It's Omar Almodovar here with Elite Recruits. In today's video, I'm sitting down with one of our former players to talk about his journey, experience in the program, and the results he saw. Go ahead, tell everyone your name, position, where you're from, what school you were at when we first connected, and where you're headed to now.
Yeah, Nate. My name's Parker Coe. I'm a right-handed pitcher. Go to Cleveland State Community College right now, but next year I'm committed to go to Georgia Southern.
Absolutely. Going to Statesboro, not too far from where I went to school. And you're a guy that had a very unique journey. You're obviously a top right-handed pitcher in the country, in my opinion, right now. And even with that, in today's recruiting market, you were someone that realized, like, hey, I need help with this process. So I want to take it back a little bit. Before we started working together, what was going on with your recruiting process at that point? And like, what did you feel like you needed help with the most?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, no recruiting process in terms of, schools coming to me, schools wanted to talk to me. It was really just, it felt unknown at the time, didn't have much help to put myself out there. So I felt like I had the talent to go to, these a Division I school or just go to a higher level than I was at. And I felt like I wasn't getting putting myself in the right spot to do it. So I came to y'all for some help and definitely helped.
For sure. Now you're a guy that we got started in December. So even before the spring started and you knew that, hey, I have the stuff, but I still need extra exposure just to get myself in front of the opportunities. We were just catching up now before we started recording. And you mentioned that you know another guy that's leading the country in strikeouts, and he's still been struggling and a little bit behind the ball when it comes to the recruiting process. For you, like once we got started, like we started talking about your goals, we put together an actual game plan to help you maximize your exposure. Talk a little bit about like how important it was for you to actually have a game plan and guidance rather than just, trying to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, I think having a game plan made it easier to follow. I knew the steps I had to take to get to where I wanted. It wasn't just a bunch of try this, it doesn't work at first, try something else. I'd say it was pretty straightforward on how it is to reach out to coaches, get to know them, and then the process from there almost takes itself.
100%. Yeah. And like for example, you are a guy that already had the talent, right? Like obviously you're a guy that, a lot of programs, as soon as the videos went up and you started getting exposure, we're almost blowing up your phone. Talk a little bit about, and it wasn't a overnight process. It wasn't from one day to the next. It's still a process that you have to go through. But talk a little bit about like the actual results. What actually happened for you, once you got in and the video started going up, and like what changed with the attention you were getting from coaches?
Yeah, I'd say after probably the first video, I mean, it got popped off. I got a good amount of followers from it, a bunch of range from NAIA summer ball coaches to D1 coaches. And I think after that, it gave me a little more confidence that being seen is what I'm missing, is that I know it's not my play for the most part, but it's being seen. So I think being seen, and then once schools start talking to you, you understand how to approach them, how to keep them, and then from there it's just like you play good, they'll keep hitting you up. And so at that point, the recruiting you can like control itself. At that point, you just gotta play your game.
100%. Now, and exactly that, playing your game. Would you say that you felt a lot more comfortable when it comes to like just going out there and worrying about performance, knowing that you had help behind the scenes and you were going to get enough exposure through social media without having to rely on being perfect every time you were out there? And, if there's no coaches there and nobody saw, like, how comfortable was it for you knowing that you already had a good setup behind the scenes and that allowed you to just go out there and compete?
Yeah, it gave me a lot more trust in myself on the mound. I don't have to go out there and see what coaches are here, and maybe they like what they see being at this one game. I just pitch every game the same, and just trust that behind that, if I put up the stats, the coaches are going to come. They've seen the video, they know what I have to offer. If they see that working in game, then it's going to come to itself.
100%. And one of the things that's probably like the coolest for me is hey, yeah, I'm helping with recruiting, but at the end of the day, it's a relationship that we build, right? We're just talking about, obviously you're going to be at a school that's close to where I used to live at and play at. So I'm going to give you, food recommendations, going to go watch you play, obviously staying in contact throughout the season. But a lot of players watching this, they might wonder like what it's actually like being inside the program. How would you describe the support, the communication, and your overall experience?
Yeah, I think especially, I mean, for the whole time you were there, just anytime I had a question or anything, it was same day response. Anytime I needed to get on a call, set it up, talk about what we needed to talk about. And I think, I mean, there was a good amount of times where I was like, can we call? I got some things to ask about, and you were there to help, and I think that really did help about cold approach to coaches, responding to coaches, just staying in contact. That's a lot of stuff that gets behind the scenes that people don't realize is vital to your recruiting.
A
And I
hundred
think
percent.
y'all really help with that.
100%. And now, obviously, like we built that connection, but we started off as strangers, right? Like over the internet, had never met before. You are a guy again that you have all the talent in the world. You're up to 94, sometimes 95 miles an hour. You're going to go play Division 1 baseball. Were you unsure at first about like working with someone online you've never, met before, or paying for recruiting help? And ultimately, like what changed your mind?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you're coughing up money for just someone you don't know, it's a little skeptical at first. I think what helped me was looking at more as an investment in myself. I found a school that through recruiting that wanted me, and at this point, I'm going there for free now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't want to put your business out there, but definitely you're in a situation now where, your family doesn't have to worry about school. And then on top of that, like you're going to have something in your pocket to be able to help yourself while you're there. Because at the end of the day, it's not like you're going to school, playing baseball, and getting a job. And obviously exposure is one thing, but you as a person, you put yourself in a really good situation on the field, but then also in the classroom. Because if you're not the student that you are in the classroom too, that like those things don't just come and fall on your lap. So that's all credit to the hard work that you put in. All I did was shine a light on it. And because that light was shined on your success and who you are, obviously the results come from that. So if somebody's watching this and they're still on the fence about working with me, like what would you tell them from your own experience?
I would say you have to have full confidence in yourself first. I ain't come to you as someone who is going to put the confidence in me to play good and just, talk to you and you just get me an offer. I didn't expect that. I expected I would have someone in my corner who's going to help me out with the recruiting or the coaches that came to me because of how I played and how I am at baseball. I wasn't just like completely reliant. I think you gotta know yourself. You gotta know how to play, and you gotta have trust. Because if you don't trust yourself, no one's gonna trust you.
100%. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that look at the end of the day. Yeah, I have a big following on social media. I have connections to coaches, but I'm also not a magician, right? At the end of the day, I told you this from the very beginning. Like it's a two-way street. It's a relationship where you got to meet me halfway. If you take care of your part, I guarantee you that I can take care of mine. But it doesn't work one way or the other, right? Like it has to be met, and you did that, not just performance wise, because obviously there's always ups and downs, but staying consistent and getting right back on it and doing all the little things like continuing to get me the videos, continuing to post on your own page. So all of those little things accumulate into the situation that you are now. So I think you said something really important though, is having that confidence in yourself. Now that you've gone through it and you're on the other side of it, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give to a guy in your situation that might be struggling to see the light at the end of the tunnel and if it's all going to be worth it at the end?
Yeah, I mean, if you're afraid of failure, you're not gonna succeed. You gotta you gotta accept failure. I mean, if you want to go out there and shove or go out there and hit three bombs, and you're gonna strike out. You're gonna give up runs, but you just gotta stay the same person, because you just gotta know your stuff's better than the guy in the box. And if they beat you, that's on you. I mean, maybe make a better pitch. Don't get behind. It's just you gotta stay up the whole time.
100%. One thing that I admire about you a lot is, and I remember this vividly, I want to say it was early in the season, we had a phone call where you're like, hey, I did really well. And then I want to say it was like the third time around the order, I really struggled. I hadn't been in that situation before. But like, okay, yeah, obviously your lifetime innings are still very early on, right? You're a guy that was just getting out there. But what was really impressive was the fact that you were able to adjust your next outing right away. And at the end of the day, coaches don't just look at your velocity and your frame. Sure, that's important and that gets you attention, but in order to actually get the offer and be able to be a guy there next year and actually get in the rotation, it's the little things like that making the adjustment. Because at the end of the day, like this is high level baseball that you're going to now, and what you've shown that you can do is exactly what it takes to be there. So extremely proud of you, dude. Like super excited to follow along with the journey, and I'm happy that you put your trust into me with this process, even though strange over the internet, and obviously now we have a special relationship. What's something you want to leave as a final message to guys out there, or to the Georgia Southern fans and staff for next year?
Yeah, I'd say guys out there looking to get recruited, you gotta believe, it's gonna be bad. It's been bad for me. It's been good for me. But I just, keep my head down, keep working. And then to the Georgia Southern fans, I mean, got a good group coming in. Few
Yes,
few of my boys coming, so we're gonna change the way the fans look at that program for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, that down year this year, no doubt about it. But that's not the usual over there, and I know you guys are going to go there and turn it around. And can't wait to be in the stands watching, man.
Sir, man, Omar, I appreciate the work you've done. It helped me a
Yes,
lot.
I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. If anyone out there wants to follow along with your journey or maybe even reach out for advice, where can guys find you on social media?
Twitter, it's Parker Coe, but the O and the E are 0 and 9, so Parker C09. Instagram, Parker.co3. Go check it out. Commitment post, all up. Shout out Omar with helping with that too.
A lot of Georgia Southern highlights coming soon too.
Hmm.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Omar.